Hey folks, welcome to the UK and World Bird News for the week ending the 26th of October 2025. Let's start with the UK first, a great crested flycatcher up in Shetland. Where else? Scientific name Miacus crinatus, family Tyrannidae, the tyrant flycatchers. Of the genus Miacus, a group of look-alike flycatchers are found throughout the Americas. Breeding range eastern North America, southern Canada down through the eastern US. Wintering range southern Florida, the Caribbean, Mexico, Central America as far south as Panama. Coloration brownish olive upper parts, grey throat and breast, bright yellow belly, and reddish tail and wing edges. Crest slightly raised feathers give it a crested look. Voice loud, rising wee-ip or reet which carries far. Sexes male and female look the same. Fun fact, its loud wee-ip call is one of the signature sounds of eastern North American summer woodlands. Hunting style classic flycatcher method, perching upright, spots prey, then flies out to snatch it in midair. Hawking or drops to the ground for it. Benefit to humans, helps control insect populations naturally. Special behavior, lines nests with shed snakeskin, sometimes substitutes like plastic or onion skins. This may deter predators or parasites. Bold and vocal, not shy around people, very territorial, will chase other birds from its nesting area. Adapts well to human landscapes if trees or nest boxes are available. The only Miacus flycatcher that breeds widely in eastern North America. Genus name Miacus means fly ruler in Greek. Mia, fly, plus arcus, ruler. Their creative use of materials like plastic or onion skins shows their adaptability, plays a key ecological role as both insect predator and seed spreader. Another mega for the UK, an eastern common nightingale. This could be only the fourth recorded sighting. It's showing very well, so should be accepted. Scientific name, Lucinia megarynchos goldsii. Common names, eastern nightingale, common nightingale, eastern subspecies, Persian nightingale. From the family Muscicipidae, the old world flycatchers and chats. From the genus Lucinia, means night singer in Latin. Distribution, eastern nightingale is the eastern subspecies. Distribution and habitat, Eastern Europe, Ukraine, southern Russia, and the Caucasus region. Middle East, Iran, Turkmenistan, and parts of Central Asia. Wintering, East Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, southern Iran, and western India. The eastern form is slightly paler and greyer with a longer wing and shorter tail. The song is famous for being rich, powerful, and melodious, with fluting whistles, trills, and crescendos. Males will sing day and night in spring and early summer to attract females and defend territory. The eastern subspecies tends to have a slightly faster, more varied song, adapted to its drier, more open habitats. A sharp huit or wit contact sound. Fun fact, the word nightingale literally means night singer from the Old English nightingale. Interesting facts, the nightingale song has been celebrated in poetry, music, and mythology for centuries, from Homer and Ovid to Keats and Coleridge. The males will arrive on breeding grounds way before the females to establish territories. They can sing up to 200 different song phrases, often improvising and combining patterns. Despite their fame, nightingales are secretive and shy, often heard but rarely seen. Some scientists think their night singing evolved because early males arrive alone, without rivals, and singing at night helps them attract females from afar when daytime competition is low. A black-faced bunting, Spurn WYT, East Yorkshire, and on Scilly, closely related to the yellowhammer, a well-known European bunting. Despite its striking breeding plumage, it becomes much duller and harder to identify in the winter. It is the male's dark face and throat that gives the species its name. Breeding males have olive-green upperparts, yellowish underparts, and a distinctive black face and throat with a grey crown and nape. Females and non-breeding males duller, more brown and streaked, with less obvious facial markings. Bill short and conical, perfect for seed eating. Breeding range northeastern Europe and Asia, including Siberia, Mongolia, and parts of northeastern China and Japan. Wintering Southeast Asia, China, Korea, Japan, northern Thailand, Vietnam, and northern India. Song, a short, dry, metallic trill, often described as ch, sung from perches or shrubs. And now a steppe grey shrike, Mullion Cliff, Cornwall. Key facts, scientific name, Lanius excubitor pallidorostris, from the family Lanidae, shrikes. By some authorities, it is considered a subspecies of the great grey shrike, though others treat it as a distinct species. Taxonomy has been debated due to overlapping traits with the great grey and southern shrike and the desert grey shrikes, a complex under ongoing study. Distribution and habitat: Central Asia, Caspian region, east through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and into western Mongolia, northern Iran. Wintering range: Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, northwest India. Vagrancy: rare but regular migrant to the Middle East, and it is a very rare vagrant to Western Europe, e.g. UK, Israel, even Scandinavia, hence a prize rarity for European birders. Habitat: prefers open semi-desert, dry steppe, scrubland and arid plains with scattered bushes or low trees, often perches on wires, shrubs or fence posts, ideal for spotting prey. Coloration: pale grey above, whitish below, much paler than a typical great grey shrike. Distinctive black mask through eye, broad but not extending far onto forehead. Key field mark: very pale sandy grey mantle and almost white underparts, giving an overall bleached look compared to the other shrikes. It's sometimes described as looking like a washed out great grey shrike, adapted for steppe and desert coloration. Hunting style: typical of shrikes, watch from an exposed perch, swoop, capture prey, then return. Of course, it has the butcher bird habit, often impales prey on thorns, barbed wire or sharp twigs. This helps them tear food apart and also store prey for later. Interesting facts: steppe grey shrikes often use human structures like power lines or fences as perches, making them more visible to observers. Their impaled prey, larders, can be useful to scientists. These small caches reveal local biodiversity and seasonal prey availability. They can mimic some calls of other birds, though not as skilled at mimicry as species like starlings or mockingbirds. The word steppe describes a type of natural landscape and climate, not a specific place. Here's what it means. A steppe is a vast treeless plain that has grass or low shrubs instead of forests. A semi-arid climate, meaning dry but not full desert. Cold winters, hot summers, and often fertile soil, but limited rainfall, too dry for forests to grow. So steppe is kind of the middle ground between a grassland and a desert. Another big one: eyebrowed thrush on the Isles of Scilly. Scientific name: Turdus obscurus. Family: Turdidae, the thrush family, same family as robins, blackbirds and fieldfares. Genus: Tardus, Latin for thrush. Common names: eyebrowed thrush and dark-throated thrush in some older references. Breeding range: northern and eastern Asia, from the Ural Mountains across Siberia to Kamchatka, northern Mongolia and northeast China. Wintering range: Southeast Asia, southern China, Taiwan, Japan, India and occasionally in the Middle East. Regular migrant to coastal East Asia, rare but exciting visitor to Western Europe, especially UK and Scandinavia, and even Alaska during migration. Prominent pale eyebrow, supercilium, creamy white standing out against darker crown and face. The eyebrow gives the bird a bright, expressive face. Its most reliable field mark: shows a plain brown back and orange-toned underwing, like many thrushes. Calls: harsh chack or chuck, a thin tss flight call. During migration and winter, often heard giving the simple tsk contact calls in flocks. The Latin species name obscurus means dark, referring to its darker plumage compared to other similar thrushes. It often migrates alongside dusky thrushes, and hybridization between the two has been recorded where their breeding ranges overlap in Serbia. One of the few Siberian thrushes to occasionally appear in Europe. Birders in the UK get especially excited when one shows up in autumn. Can survive cold winters by switching almost entirely to fruit diets. Next up, the northern long-tailed tits on Shetland. Scientific name: Aegythalos caudatus caudatus. Common names: northern long-tailed tit, white-headed long-tailed tit. From the family Aegythalidae, the long-tailed tits or bush tits. From the genus Aegythalos. From ancient Greek, meaning a small kind of bird. Sometimes treated as a subspecies of the long-tailed tit, which is widespread across Eurasia. Calls are high, thin tsip-tsip or tsi-tsi-tsi or rolling syrp notes, usually given as flocks move through trees. Song: soft twittering sequences, not very musical, but distinctive when familiar. Behavioral note: flocks stay in constant contact calls to keep the group together. Extremely social, travels in tight family parties of wintering flocks of 10 to 20 birds. Uses communal roosting in winter, groups huddle together at night to conserve warmth. Very agile, constantly moving, tail flicking and chattering. When alarmed, the flock gives out a large harsh tsh call and dives into cover. Their nest can contain up to 2,000 feathers for insulation. The northern form's pure white head is an adaptation to snowy environments. Great camouflage against predators. Long-tailed tits are not true tits. Despite the name, they're in their own distinct family. Despite their size, they can survive extreme cold through cooperation, communal roosting and family support make a big difference. Now, other than those megas, a brown shrike Upper Hollesley Common, Suffolk, which is actually a first for that county. Norfolk and further up the east coast is experiencing a big influx of warblers, palaces, dusky, and of course the yellow-browed numbers remain high. Northwestern Ireland still has those harlequin ducks showing well, nearly 2 weeks now. Down south, the Bakewell teal at Abbotsbury, Swannery and Dorset. The red-flanked bluetail, which was showing well in Margate, seems to have disappeared now. Elsewhere in the world, a major rarity for the first time, the small migratory bird, a brown-breasted flycatcher, was recorded in the Tadoba and Dari Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra, India. Why it matters: this species normally breeds in southern China, northeastern India, Thailand and winters in southern India and Sri Lanka. Its presence in the reserve indicates a possible range expansion. It raises questions about how habitat changes, migration shifts, or climate influences may be altering the range of lesser-known birds. For local conservationists, it adds another layer. Preserving forest and stream habitat becomes more important, even in reserves already focused on big mammals. Now for a conservation concern. At Rabindra Sarobar in South Calcutta, India, local birdwatchers reported that several migratory and residential bird species, including Himalayan and Siberian migrants, like the chestnut-winged cuckoo, Indian pitta and blue-capped rock thrush, vanishing following 3 days of intense firecrackers during the festival period. Why it matters: it underscores how human cultural and celebratory activities, in this case noise from firecrackers, can have unexpected and immediate negative impacts on bird populations, especially during critical migration and resting periods. Birds use sites like lakes and wetlands as rest stops. Disturbance can force them to abandon habitat, potentially decreasing survival or increasing stress. It's a timely example of the interference between human culture and wildlife conservation, a local event but with broader implications for bird-friendly practices during festive seasons. Okay folks, that's the news for this week. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll speak to you again next week.